Hello viewers, welcome to this session. I am going to talk about The Scholar Gypsy by Matthew Arnold, a critical appreciation. The Scholar Gypsy by Matthew Arnold is one of the most important poems. Matthew Arnold composed this poem to express his noble ideas, his sublime thought in a sublime language. This poem consists of 25 stanzas. Each stanza contains 10 lines in iambic pentameter except the sixth line, which is in iambic trimeter. The poem deals with the life of the scholar Gypsy. The poet compares and contrasts the life of the scholar Gypsy with the life of the modern people and the life of the Victorians. The poet says in this long narrative poem that the life of the scholar Gypsy is free from the diseases of modern life and the fatigue of modern life. He has got immortality due to his singleness of aim, singleness of business, and singleness of desire. Contrary to it, the moderns or the Victorians have variety of aims, variety of businesses, variety of desires, so they have utter failure in their life. But the scholar Gypsy is successful, he is immortal. In the first half of the poem, from stanza number 1 to stanza number 13 or 14, the poet gives an account of the countryside of Oxford. The poet graphically describes the countryside of Oxford in a Wordsworthian style. From stanza number 14 to stanza number 14 to 25, we have the contrast and comparison of the life of the scholar Gypsy and the life of the modern people and the Victorians. The account is like that of T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land. Now let me talk about the influences over Matthew Arnold. When composing this poem, Matthew Arnold was influenced by William Wordsworth's poem Gypsies and George Byron's works. He has influence of his mother over him. His father also influenced him very much. His friend Miss Martinin has deep influence over him. His visit to Spain along with his father also impacted him very much in the composing of this poem. His study, above all, his study of Joseph Glanvill's The Vanity of Dogmatizing has deep influence over the scholar Gypsy. Glanvill's account. The poem is after the Glanvill's account of the vanity of dogmatizing. In the poem, there is a German scholar who studied in Oxford, London, but he left Oxford without completing his degree because of his poverty. The Oxford scholar joined a band of gypsies and spread his knowledge, wisdom, and spirituality all over the world, living in the countryside of Oxford. The themes of the poem. The poem deals with the natural description of the Oxford countryside. At the same time, the poem deals with criticism of life. The poem has indictment of the modern life. There are many passages which express this thing very effectively. Let us see this passage. And we ourselves shall go, but thou possessest an immortal lot. The second passage also describes the life of the scholar Gypsy. No, thou hast not felt the lapse of hours, for what wears out the life of mortal man? It is that from change to change there being rolls. It is that repeated shocks again and again exhaust the energy of strongest souls and numb the elastic powers. These passages show how the scholar Gypsy leads a very happy life, cheerful life, in contrast to the life of the modern people and the Victorians. The poem has a treatment of nature. The poem, as told earlier, goes on describing the countryside, the hills, the valleys, the fields. The poem graphically depicts the scene and sight of Oxford countryside. Moral of the poem. The poem has a moral lesson. The moral lesson of the poem is that life of simplicity is better than the modern life of materialism. Oneness of aim, business and desire is the key to success in life. Whereas the modern people have variety of aims, businesses and desires, so they fail in their life. The poem also describes that the singleness of aim, business and desire is essential for the happiness and wholesomeness of life. Language and diction. The poem has simple, lucid and clear language. It has colloquial language. We have sublime thought there in sublime language. The poet has made use of Homeric similes, especially in the last two lines. The reference to Dido Aeneas are highly evocative and suggestive in the poem. Meter. Now let me talk about the meter used in this poem. Each stanza of the poem consists of 10 lines. The first 5 lines are composed in iambic pentameter, and the 6th line is composed in iambic trimeter. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B, C, A, D, E, E, D. It is like Italian or Miltonic sonnet. As a pastoral poem, the Scholar Gypsy is a pastoral poem. A pastoral poem is a poem. A pastoral elegy is an elegy in which the poet describes the life of nature, shepherd, sheep in the form of elegy, in the form of mourning someone or something else. Though nobody dies in the poem, however, the poem bewails or laments the loss of vitality and spirituality in the life of modern people. At the same time, the poem appreciates the life of the scholar gypsy who has vitality, spirituality, and wisdom in him. Melancholic and elegiac mood. Throughout the poem, we have melancholic and elegiac mood. The scholar gypsy gives up the Oxford University out of his poverty, and he joins a band of roamers, band of gypsies who roam around the countryside and spread their learning, knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, and noble thoughts. He is deprived of the pleasure and happiness of life. So, the poem has melancholic tone and elegiac mood. To conclude, the A Scholar Gypsy is one of the best poems of Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold is more classic than romantic in this poem. Matthew Arnold has himself said that he would like to be called a classic in comparison to a romantic poet. That's all. Thanks for